Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good day, everyone. We are from Group 3 of System Analysis and Design class who would like to present our project assignment. The group consists me, Shaquila Dania, Aisyah Mahmud, Ananda Putri Nabila, and Emil Satria Halim. The first topic will be talking about preparing the project definition and data gathering. The Hallyrion Hotel plans to renewing and improving their systems. In order to do that goals, management plans to use database to organize it. The management expects the following information from the new systems, which are current guests and their rooms, unoccupied or empty rooms every day, reserved and available room for 1 year in the future, the previous transaction with each guest, and check-in and check-out data for preparing invoices, and the invoices are expected to be generated automatically. The management wants us to advise for other information needed. During our initial investigation, we also get the letter from the police department requiring the hotel to report the foreign guests every day. The report should contain name, nationality, passport number, and check-in date. For additional information, every guest gets an ID card with a unique number, and the frequent guests get discount and other souvenirs. Next slide. The Hallyrion Hotel, located in Padang and offering some services such as free Wi-Fi, parking area, pools, and sky lounge. For the type of rooms, there are two types of rooms, which are standard room, which consists of 500,000 rupiah per night with 5 total room, and luxury room, which consists of 750,000 per night with 5 total room. Hallyrion Hotel serve local and international guests. Their current concept is not reaching maximum profit because of their manual system. So the hotel management decided to develop computer system for the administration. The hotel made us to create a computerized system that will help them in. The first is increase the quality of customer service at Hallyrion. The second is to manage customer check-in and check-out in the hotel. The third is improve the hotel services performance. And the last is to track data of guests that are the customers. Therefore, our team will make data computerized system indirect to the first is to make easier for management booking process, to modernize data entry that will be much more efficient, and lastly is to generate hotel management automatically for guest data and rooms data. Next slide. For the data gathering, our hotel use questionnaire and interview method for data gathering. We use questionnaire for interviewing the new employee to meet their requirements. For questionnaire, we use it to collect feedback from our customer. For the interview method, we are willing to know the employee's soft skill, employee's personality, and employee's motivation to work at our hotel. For the questionnaire method, we use this method to get feedback from our customers using Google Form. Next slide. Okay, as you can see here, this is the example for our customer feedback. Next slide. For additional information, every guest got an ID card with a unique number. The frequent guests get discount and other souvenirs, so we are required to prepare project definition, prepare context and functional diagram, entity model such as conceptual entity model and physical database design model, to design the structure of the table using form as file name, file type, file length, and descriptions, to design input screen layout for input data, retrieve data, and others, to design reports and other output include ID card or discount card for frequent guests, to prepare a list of hardware and software needed, to prepare time schedule for construction and implementation, to develop system prototype using Microsoft Access and other DBMS, and lastly is to presentation and report submitting to the managers. Next slide. So as we can see here, the left one is the context diagram. There are several contexts such as guests that do booking requests and the hotel give the book form, external reservation system that does the booking confirmation, time and scheduling for the booking room, the bank that includes payment validation, and lastly is booking list. And the right section is the functional diagram. So the company gives the fixed price for the room that will be booked and the customer do the payment. After customer do the payment, the room that are ordered will be input to the database and the room that are in the database will be reported in the hotel report and it will be submitted to the managers. The next slide will be presented by Aisyah. Aisyah,
Okay, Kayla, thank you. I will continue the presentation. For requirement 3, prepare the entity model. Okay, this is the conceptual entity model of our database. As you can see here, the first is invoice will be paid by the customer with the relationship entity one-to-many, and the obligatory side is on the customer because all of the customer has to pay the invoice. And then invoice has a bill with the entity relationship is one-to-one and obligatory side on both side invoice and bill because all of the invoice will have a bill. And then the customer requests the room. With the entity relationship is many to one and the obligatory side is on the customer because all of the customer need to request the room before reservation. After after the customer requests the room, customer need to book the reservation if the room is available. And the entity relationship is many to one, and the obligatory side is on the customer because all of the customer need to book the reservation in order to get the room. And then after that, the reservation will reserve the room, and the entity relationship is one to one with the obligatory side is on the reservation side because all of the reservation need to reserve the room. And then the last one is customer will be serviced by the employee with the entity relationship is many to many and the obligatory side is on the employee because all of the employee need to service all of the customer. Okay, next slide. This is the physical database design model of our database hotel after we convert the conceptual database design model into the physical database. Okay, next slide. Number 4 is design structure of the table. In this database, we will have 4 tables. The first one is the customer table. The customer table have several fields. The first one is customer ID. Customer ID is a unique ID for each customer. Customer ID have 10 characters for the field length and short text as the field type. Next is customer name. The customer name will have 50 characters and short text as its field type. And then the date of birth. The date of birth has 10 characters and date and time as a field type. Then there is a country. The country is need to record foreigner guests. The field length is 20 characters, and the field type is short text. And then there is a phone number. Phone number will have 15 characters with short text as the field type. And then there is an email address. The email address will have 50 characters as the field length, and the field type is short text. And the last one for the customer table is room number. The room number will have 10 characters for the field length, and the field type is short text. And then the next tables is the room table. The room table have 4 fields. The first one is the room ID. Room ID is a unique ID for each room. And then there is a room type. Room type will have 20 characters for the field length and short text as a field type. And then there is a room status. The room status will have 10 characters as the field length and short text as the field type. And the last one for the room table is room price. The room price will have a field type is a currency and the field length is 20 characters. Okay, next slide. Employee table. The employee table will have several fields. The first one is employee ID that will have 20 characters as the field length and field type is the short text. The employee name will have 30 characters for the field length and short text as the field type. And then there is a gender. The gender will have short text as a field type and 20 characters for the field length. And then date of birth. will have date and time as a field type and 20 characters for field length. And then there is a position. The position will have field length as much as a 20 characters and short text as a field type. And then there is a phone number. The phone number will have short text as a field type and 20 characters for the field length. And the last one for the employee table is entrance date. The entrance date will have a date and time as a field type and 20 characters for the field length. And then the last table for in our database is the reservation table. The reservation table will have several fields. The first one is customer ID. The customer ID is a unique ID for each customer. It will have 20 characters for field length and short text as their field type. And then there is a booking ID. Booking ID will have 20 characters for the field length and short text as a field type. And then there is a booking date. Booking date is will have 20 characters for the field length and date and time for the field type. And then there is a check-in date and check-out date. It will have both 20 characters and the field type is the date and time. For the room type and room ID will have 20 characters and short text. And for the duration of stay will have 20 characters and short text. And for the price, the field type is the currency and the field length is 20 characters. Okay, next slide. Number 5 will be presented by Putri. For the Putri, time is yours.
Okay, for number 5, design the input screen layout for input data, retrieve data, and other forms. First reservation form for the contents that are customer ID, booking date, check-in date, check-out date, room type, room ID, duration of stay, price, and for the customer form, for the content there are customer ID, customer name, date of birth, country, phone number, email address, and room number. For the room 4, for the contents there are room ID, room type, room status, and room price. For the employee form, for the contents there are employee ID, employee name, gender, date of birth, position, phone number, and entrance date. 6. Design report and other outputs include ID or discount card for the frequent guests. Customer report, there are customer ID, customer name, date of birth, country, phone number, email, and room number. Reservation report, there are customer ID, booking date, check-in date, check-out date, room type, room ID, duration of stay, and price. For the employee report, there are employee ID, name, gender, date of birth, position, phone number, and entrance date. For the foreign customer query, there are customer name, nationality, passport number, and check-in date. For the room availability query, there are room ID, room type, room status, and room price. So this is the hotel card for the guests, the Hallyrion Hotel. And this is the hotel discount card for the frequent guests, 25% off. Number 7, list of hardware and software to be used. First hardware, there are monitor, CPU, keyboard, and memory card. And for the software, Microsoft Access Cloud Service, commercial off-the-shelf or COT is software, or software as the service or SaaS. And for the next slide, will be presented by Emil.
So for the number 8, time schedule for construction and implementation. For October till November 2021, the activities are problem definition, data gathering, problem description and understanding, and interpretation of collected data. For December until March 2022, the activities are system analysis, system design, and construction. From April till May 2022, the activities are system testing and employee training. And for June 2022 is submission to the Hallyrion Hotel. Next slide. For number 9, develop the system prototype using Access or Order DBMS. We already made the prototype using Microsoft Access. This Access have 4 tables, including reservation, customer, room, and employee. It also has 2 queries, which are foreign customer and room status. For the report, it has 2 reports, such as reservation, customer, and employee reports. And for the form, it has reservation, customer, room, and employee form. So this is the Microsoft Access. For the table, we have 4 table. This is the reservation. It has customer ID, booking date, check-in date, check-out date, room type, room ID, duration of stay, and price. For the next table, customer table, it has customer ID, customer name, date of birth, country, phone number, passport number, email address, and room number. For the room table, it has room ID, room type, room status, and room price. For the employee table, it has employee ID, name, gender, date of birth, position, phone number, and entrance date. So this is the foreign customer query. It has customer ID, customer name, country, phone number, and passport number. For room status query, it has room ID, room type, room status, and room price. So this is the reservation form, the customer form, room form, and employee form. For the report, this is the reservation report, customer report, and the last one is employee report.
Okay, thank you, Emil. That will be all from Group 3 for this assignment. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Have a good day, everyone.